Welcome back to AM Live. I'm here this morning with historian and author Frank Tortorich. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, great.
It's good to see you this morning.
Well, it's nice being here.
Yeah, and you are, as I said, a historian.
Well,
tell us about that.
I'm a researcher.
Okay.
I've been researching the westward migration and particularly Carson Pass and the Carson River route for nearly 40 years.
Oh, wow. So it must be your passion.
Yes.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Yes.
It's awesome that you get to do what you love to do.
It is, yeah. It's a real joy, and actually it's an addiction.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it.
I got hooked into this stuff 40 years ago.
You used to be a school teacher, right?
I did. I'm a retired from Emerita County Unified School District. I was a teacher and administrator for 33 years. So.
My goodness. So then you retired from there, right?
I retired in '94, and I've been doing this, in making my hobby my job practically.
That's right. And you've written a few books now.
Yes, these are the first two books I wrote. These
Let's
were.
hold these up a little bit here.
This one was, people were asking me how to find the trail up in the mountains, so I decided to write a guidebook for along Highway 88, 33 miles.
This is absolutely a beautiful highway, isn't it?
It is. And then the hiking guide was for that section that's not next to the highway.
Okay.
That goes up through the wilderness.
Okay, good. Good. And then this is your newest book, which you've written about John A. Snowshoe Thompson.
Right.
Tell us about that.
John Thompson was Norwegian. He came to the United States when he was 10 years old with his mother. And in 1851, he moved to California for gold. And he was not successful in that. And he saw an ad, supposedly in the Sacramento Union, that they're looking for somebody to carry the mail during the wintertime between Placerville and Genoa. And it had been attempted to do that, but nobody was successful. Well, Thompson, being raised Norwegian, was born on skis.
That's right.
And so he fashioned some skis and went and applied for the job, and they said, they kind of laughed at him and said, we don't expect anybody to do this, but we have to advertise. So he convinced him that he could. So in January of 1856, he left Placerville with a pack of mail, and 5 days later he was back from Genoa. And nobody could believe that he could do that, return over the snow that rapidly. And of course he continued to deliver the mail for 20 years and was never paid.
Wow.
And so one of the issues was I wanted to know why he wasn't paid. And so that was kind of stimulated some of my interest.
Did you find out why?
I did. And you'll have to buy the book to find out,
Exactly.
But he was an interesting man. He lived near Markleyville in Diamond Valley. He was very civic minded. He was on the board of supervisors. He was an Indian agent. He helped build some sawmills and water canals. When he wasn't delivering the mail, he was a rancher and a farmer.
Very good. So he loved the area.
He did, and he's very, very well known in the Norwegian community. And of course, there's a museum in Genoa about Snowshoe Thompson. There's one in Markleyville. There's one in Johnsville up by Quincy. So he's a very well-known character. There has been lots of material written about him, mostly in children's books, but nobody has done a definitive study like mine. So
when you do a study like this on someone, I'm sure you've probably studied others, not that you've written books about them necessarily, but when you study a historical figure like this, how does it touch you? What does it do for you personally?
Well, it's kind of a thrill to research material and write it where nobody else has.
Yeah.
And of course, my interest is in getting the history out to the general public. There were a lot of myths about Thompson. I think I dispelled most of those myths and put the reality in it. Why he was never paid, what was his motivations, what were some of the other things he did. And so why was his name, there were several spellings of his name. And so I found out why that occurred.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like you become, even though he's no longer here, you become like a friend. He becomes like a friend, right? Because you study his life and get to know him so well. And
yeah, there's only one primary source document on Thompson, really the man. There was a writer named Dan DeQuille. His name was William Wright, but he wrote under the pen name Dan DeQuille, and he wrote for the Territorial Enterprise. And he was a contemporary of Mark Twain. And Dan DeQuille was going to do a series of interviews with Thompson, and he only did one before Thompson died. And it was from that one interview that most people gleaned their information.
Right, right.
Well, DeQuille was not a historian, he was a journalist. And he got a few things incorrect. He misunderstood what Thompson was saying, or he misinterpreted him, or what it was. And so I was able to straighten those mistakes out. I don't think DeQuille did it on purpose, but
right.
you know, just in the process.
yeah.
And then I sought out other material on Thompson
Very
to
good.
to do the research.
How long did it take you to write this book?
10 years.
Wow. Okay,
Yes,
10
years.
10 years. Where can people get this book?
It
I don't know if
is
they've been able to pull it up on the camera here, but
locally it's at Bubblegum Bookstore.
Okay.
It's at the Amateur Ranger Station office at Buckhorn. It's at Sorensen's Resort. Hopefully it'll be at Hine & Company, and it's on Amazon.
And very good. How much is it?
It retails for $23.95.
Okay, very good.
Or you can get it from me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So have you been traveling around quite a bit?
Not yet.
Okay.
I've only had the book less than a month.
Are you self-published?
No.
No.
These are self-published here, but this one was published by Pronghorn Press in Gray Bull, Wyoming.
Okay, good.
And that's a long story how that came about.
Yeah.
Publishing a book is not easy, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It was
But
nice to have a publisher behind
I
it.
do intend to do some book signings. I hopefully for the Norwegian community and at the library.
That's great.
And also over in Carson Valley.
Yeah, they must be very proud of him over there. Good.
Oh, they are.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right
Okay.
back. Okay, you guys stay tuned. Thanks.